And in '93, he took a break. He became Senator Tom Harkin's state director, but came back to the Iowa House after winning election in November of 2000. Now he's serving in the Senate. Senator Hatch chairs the Senate's Human Services Budget Subcommittee. He's also serving on, of course, other committees in the Senate. He's a graduate of Drake University in 1972, a BA degree at that time, and then in 1973, a master's in public administration. You can start to come forward if you'd like to, Senator Hatch. In 1997, Senator Hatch founded the Hatch Development Group. That's a real estate development firm. And 11 years later, in 2008, expanded that to Cedar Rapids. He and his wife, Sonia Roberts, live in the Sherman Hill neighborhood of Des Moines, and they have 2 daughters. Senator Jack Hatch.
Thank you. I know it's always good to start off with good news. However, for at least one person that I know, it's good news. I have a daughter who is a journalist in Anchorage, Alaska. She's a broadcast journalist, and she calls up frequently, and I looked at my website for weather, and I'm just here to tell you that it's warmer in Anchorage than it is in Des Moines. And it's only 11 o'clock in the morning there. So I wanted to give you a little bit more background on who I am. What Dean didn't tell you is that I grew up in Connecticut. Came here to go to Drake University because my mother wanted me to go to a Midwestern school. She went to Wisconsin. And I've had several opportunities to leave Iowa. Always chose to stay here. For the past 45 years, I've been an Iowa resident. And my family and I, including my wife, Sonia, my stepdaughter, Reagan, and her husband, Jay, and my daughter, Sonia isn't my daughter, Caslin, understand the value and love this state. And for the years that I've been a businessman and also serving in the legislature, it's given me the opportunity to delve deeply into why this state means so much to us. We started 13 years ago a company called Hatch Development Group and Perennial Properties Management Services. We are a affordable housing developer. We've developed close to $97 million in affordable housing in Cedar Rapids and Des Moines. We build housing not just for the residents or the tenants, we build housing in the neighborhoods. We build housing where no other developer would go. We were the first developer in downtown Des Moines, 2003. Needless to say, what you hear today, what you see today are dozens of developers that have come into Des Moines. But we were the first in 40 years. We also were the first developer to go into Cedar Rapids after the flood of 2008 and built a 97-unit complex in Oak Hill, Jackson. The time that we bought it, we bought the land 6 months after the floods receded, and it was in land that was covered with 5 feet of water. We built the buildings by just elevating the first floor to the second level and satisfied the insurance industry and our bankers that it wouldn't be submerged if there was another flood. I've also spent 22 years in the legislature. 22 years that gives me the experience to know what government can and cannot do. I've focused on health and human services. I've focused on health care, mental health, and environmental protection. In 2009, I was appointed by the White House to head the White House Working Group of State Legislators for Healthcare Reform, along with about 150 other legislators from 42 states, worked with Congress, the White House, the administration, and our own legislative leaders and governors to build an infrastructure that we now know as Obamacare. I've also led the fight on mental health redesign. These are issues that are hard, they're complex, and you have to really get down into it. It separates me from, I think, other individuals who are afraid or don't get into complex issues. It also prepares me to look at Iowa a different way, from the side of the consumer, the view in which the consumer looks toward its government for help, looks toward its private providers for help, and looks toward its community for help. I offer a pretty stark contrast to Governor Branstad. I believe in leaders have to work together to bring people together. I believe in straight talk and not just political talk. I believe in telling people what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. I believe in learning from the past and preparing us for the future. I believe in putting good ideas into politics. Iowa has a kind of process in the last 3 or 4 years in which we seem to be coasting, that the status quo is okay. The governor's proposal this year in the state of the state was timid. It was unimaginative. It was one in which bipartisan leaders can embrace, because most of the proposals he's presented this year were ideas that Democrats and Republicans have been working together on for years. But the story that needs to be told really is the one in which we had fun this summer. Fun in a way of poking a little bit of humor at the governor on his speeding incident. But it's a serious topic. He was caught speeding, and normally in a situation like that, you just fess up to it and move on. But he kept on denying that it happened, blaming other people. And then you see that he has the same kind of character when it came to his illegal closure of workforce development offices around the state. Illegal not because I say it is, but the Supreme Court did. It did the same thing just yesterday. The district court here in Polk County said he illegally closed the Iowa juvenile home. This pattern of being above the law is one that needs to be told. It's a pattern that provides, through a lens, maybe this governor is a little bit more arrogant than we think. That this governor has a chance to pull people together like he says, but he misses that opportunity. He has a problem with battles right now. He has a court case with Chris Godfrey, and he ignores the law on allowable growth. This is an issue of not so much on what we can do, but what we should do. My job is to build a broad coalition of farmers, laborers, businessmen, individuals, communities, big and small. I'm from Des Moines, and most people would say a guy from Des Moines can't win a governor's race. Well, I've come from a neighborhood, Dean told us, Sherman Hill. It's got 2,500 individuals. It's a small town. Big city neighborhoods and small towns have a lot in common. One big city neighborhood just north of Mercy Hospital has the highest infant mortality rate. Businesses are closing, residents are leaving. It's like any small town. What we can do together in this state, between big cities and small towns, comes from a person who understands how to get things done.